The invitation. First Contact Day should have been humanity's proudest moment. Instead, Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the Galactic Council's vast chamber feeling like a kindergartner who'd wandered into a PhD dissertation defense. The circular hall stretched upward for what seemed like miles, its crystalline walls housing thousands of alien representatives from across the Milky Way. "The Sol System representatives may approach," announced High Chancellor Vextra, their bioluminescent tentacles pulsing with each word. The translation matrix rendered their speech in perfect English, though Sarah could hear the underlying tone of dismissal. She straightened her Navy diplomatic uniform and walked forward, her footsteps echoing across the polished obsidian floor. The Earth delegation consisted of just 3 people: herself, Dr. James Morrison, their xenotechnology expert, and General Maria Santos, their military attaché. They looked absurdly small compared to the massive delegations from other worlds. "We have reviewed your application for council membership," Vextra continued. "Your species has achieved faster-than-light travel, albeit through crude means." Scattered laughter rippled through the chamber. Sarah maintained her diplomatic smile, though she noticed General Santos' jaw tightening. A massive being covered in iridescent scales leaned forward from one of the upper tiers. "High Chancellor, surely you jest. These primitives still use ionic propulsion for their planetary launches. Their fastest ships would take decades to reach even the nearest council world." More laughter. Sarah stepped forward. "Ambassador Crix, while Earth's visible technology may seem basic by council standards, we believe we have other contributions to offer the galactic community." "Such as?" A crystalline being chimed in, their voice like breaking glass. "Your species hasn't even terraformed your neighboring planets. You still suffer from planetary diseases. Your artificial intelligence systems are barely sentient." Dr. Morrison shifted uncomfortably beside her. Sarah knew what he was thinking about. The quantum AI labs hidden beneath the Mariana Trench, the gravity manipulation experiments in Antarctic research stations, the fleet of ships being constructed in secret lunar facilities. But they weren't ready yet. "Soon, but not yet. We offer perspective," Sarah replied calmly. "Earth has developed differently than many council worlds. We believe our unique path might provide fresh insights." "Perspective." Ambassador Crix's scales rippled with amusement. "The only perspective you provide is a warning of inefficient technological development. Your species spent centuries burning fossil fuels while we had already mastered fusion." "Nevertheless," High Chancellor Vextra interrupted, "the Council's charter requires us to consider all spacefaring races for membership. Earth will be granted provisional status, with limited voting rights and restricted access to Council technology." Sarah bowed slightly. "We appreciate the Council's generosity." As they left the chamber, General Santos spoke in a low voice. "Did you see their defense grids when we arrived? Ancient technology. They're still using particle shields and plasma weapons. No concept of quantum entanglement barriers or gravity lenses. They see what they expect to see," Sarah replied quietly. "Our primitive ships hide more than they show." "How long until Project Aurora is ready?" "The HSS Asteria completes its final trials next month. The quantum cores are stable, the AI integration is perfect, and the gravity manipulation systems exceed all projections. We could reveal it now if needed." Sarah shook her head. "Not yet. Let them underestimate us a while longer." "Did you notice how the Crix delegation spoke about the outer colonies? They're planning something. When they make their move, that's when Earth shows its true capabilities." Dr. Morrison smiled faintly. "They mock our AI development, yet their most advanced systems are barely at the level of our public commercial programs. Wait until they meet Aurora." Their shuttle departed the Council station, its seemingly primitive exterior masking technology that would make the Council species gape in disbelief. As they accelerated toward the transit point, Sarah watched the massive station recede. "Send word to command," she told General Santos. "Tell them to accelerate the timeline on Project Aurora. I have a feeling we're going to need it sooner rather than later." The general nodded, sending the encrypted quantum transmission that would bypass all Council monitoring systems. As their shuttle jumped to FTL, Sarah thought about the looks of condescension in the Council chamber. Let them mock Earth's primitive technology. Let them dismiss humanity as barely worthy of notice. Soon enough, they would learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in showing off their advancements, but in knowing when to reveal them. The galaxy thought they were watching a species taking its first stumbling steps into a larger universe. Instead, they were witnessing a carefully choreographed performance, one that would change the balance of power forever. Earth wasn't primitive. Earth was patient, and patience was about to pay off. Silent progress. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility few humans even knew existed, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched as quantum particles danced across her holographic display. The Mariana Complex stretched for miles through the ocean floor, its vast chambers housing Earth's most advanced research projects. "Aurora, run simulation sequence Delta 7 again," she commanded. The facility's quantum AI responded instantly, its consciousness distributed through crystalline matrices that would make Council scientists weep with envy. "Simulation running, Dr. Rodriguez," Aurora replied, its voice carrying undertones of curiosity. A trait that would shock those who mocked Earth's barely sentient A's. Gravitational field stability has increased by 47% with the new configurations. Elena smiled as she watched the numbers flow. While the Council races bragged about their fusion reactors and particle shields, humanity had quietly mastered something far more fundamental: the ability to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. A gentle chime announced an incoming transmission. Dr. Rodriguez, Sarah Chen's hologram appeared beside her workstation. "How are the modifications progressing?" "Better than expected, Ambassador. The quantum gravity core isn't just stable. It's exceeding our original specifications by orders of magnitude. The Asteria's capability will far surpass anything the Council has imagined possible." "Good. We're going to need it." Sarah's expression was grim. "The Krix Empire has begun moving warships into the Outer Rim. They're claiming it's just a training exercise, but our deep space sensors tell a different story." Elena pulled up another display, showing the massive shape of the HSS Asteria in its lunar construction dock. Earth's first true warship looked deceptively simple from the outside, a sleek obsidian form that seemed to absorb light itself. But inside, it housed technology that would revolutionize warfare. "How long can we maintain the charade?" Elena asked, reviewing the latest test data. "Every time we send our primitive ships to Council space, we risk someone seeing through the disguise." "The Krix are growing bolder," Sarah replied. "Yesterday, they suggested that developing worlds should be placed under the protection of more advanced species. Protection meaning control, of course." Elena's fingers danced across the holographic controls, bringing up more detailed scans of Krix military movements. Earth's quantum sensor network, another technology they kept hidden, could track ships even in FTL travel. "They're not just heading to the Outer Rim," she noted. "These formation patterns, they're positioning for a multi-system strike. Classic encirclement strategy." "The Council refuses to see it," Sarah said bitterly. "They're too convinced of their own superiority, too certain that their technology makes them invincible. The Krix ambassador actually patted me on the head yesterday, literally patted me on the head, and said Earth shouldn't worry about complex military matters." Aurora's avatar materialized nearby, a shifting pattern of blue light that had chosen its own form of representation. "Ambassador, I've completed analysis of recent Krix communications. They're using a quantum encryption they believe unbreakable. Would you like to know what they're saying?" Sarah leaned forward. "Tell me." "They plan to announce a protective intervention in the Outer Rim within the next 30 days. Their fleet will move simultaneously against 12 systems. The Council worlds will be given a choice: accept Krix dominion or face immediate military action." Elena shared a look with Sarah. "The Asteria can be ready in 20 days, she said quietly. Aurora's integration with the ship's systems is complete. The gravity lance has been successfully tested. We can do this. Sarah was silent for a moment, weighing options. What about the secondary systems? The quantum shields, the FTL modifications, all functioning beyond specifications, Aurora reported. In simulated combat, the Asteria's capabilities exceed the combined strength of the entire known Krix fleet. Their weapons cannot penetrate our quantum barriers. Their sensors cannot track us. Their ships cannot match our speed or maneuverability. Elena brought up a tactical display, showing the Krix fleet movements. They think they're being subtle, but to our sensors, they might as well be setting off fireworks. We can see everything. Their ship positions, their power signatures, their communication patterns. And they have no idea, Sarah mused. They still think we're struggling with basic spaceflight, still burning rocket fuel to reach orbit. She straightened. Decision made. Accelerate the timeline. I want the Asteria ready in 15 days. When the Krix make their move, humanity will show the galaxy what primitive technology can do. Elena nodded, already sending new instructions to the lunar facility. Around her, the Mariana complex hummed with power as humanity's greatest achievements continued to evolve and improve. Let the Council worlds mock them. Let the Krix think them weak. Soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology. It was their patience, their creativity, and their ability to let others underestimate them until the perfect moment to strike. Aurora's avatar pulsed with anticipation. Dr. Rodriguez, new simulation results are ready. Would you like to see how we can improve the gravity lance's efficiency by another 23%? Elena smiled. The galaxy thought humanity was taking baby steps into space. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Breaking point. The council chamber erupted in chaos as holographic displays showed Krix warships emerging from FTL across the outer rim. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood silently, watching the panic spread among the supposedly superior species. This is an outrage. The Tellurian representative's crystalline form vibrated with anger. The Krix Empire has no right to occupy sovereign systems. Ambassador Krix's scales rippled with smug satisfaction. We are merely providing protection to developing worlds. Someone must take responsibility for guiding lesser species toward proper development. Sarah noticed how his eyes lingered on her when he said lesser species. She touched the quantum communicator hidden in her collar. Aurora, status report. The AI's response came through her neural implant, another technology the Council would be shocked to learn humans had mastered. The Asteria is in position, Ambassador. All systems operational. General Santos awaits your command. The High Chancellor's bioluminescence pulsed rapidly. The Council demands the immediate withdrawal of Krix forces. Or what? Krix's voice dripped with contempt. Will you send your outdated warships against our fleet? The Krix Empire has spent centuries perfecting our military technology, while the Council grew soft and complacent. Sarah stepped forward. Earth opposes this action. The chamber fell silent for a moment before breaking into derisive laughter. Krix turned to her, scales shimmering with amusement. Does Earth oppose it? And what exactly does Earth plan to do? Perhaps you'll send one of your chemical-propelled ships to investigate, taking only a few decades to arrive. We have concerns about the stability of the region. Sarah continued calmly. The Outer Rim worlds are under Council protection. Protection. Krix sneered. The Council cannot even protect itself. Our forces have already secured 7 systems. 3 more will fall within the hour. This is not a negotiation. This is a notification of how things will be. Sarah watched the tactical displays, noting the positions of Krix warships. They were good, she had to admit that. Their formations were precise, their strategy sound. If they were facing the technological level they thought they were facing, victory would have been assured. This is your final warning, Sarah said quietly. Withdraw your forces. The chamber erupted in laughter again. Even some council members were chuckling at Earth's apparent naivety. Or what? Primitive. Crix leaned forward. Will you throw rocks at our ships? Perhaps send strongly worded messages. The Earth delegation is dismissed. Go home to your little world and be grateful we consider you too insignificant to bother with. For now. Sarah straightened her uniform. Aurora, initiate protocol Prometheus. The A's response was immediate. Protocol initiated. The Asteria is engaging quantum drive. Sarah looked directly at Crix. You were warned. High above the lunar surface, hidden by technology that made it invisible to even the most advanced council sensors, the HSS Asteria came to life. Its obsidian hull absorbed all light, its quantum core humming with power that would make the Crix's fusion reactors look like children's toys. General Maria Santos sat in the command chair, surrounded by holographic displays showing real-time quantum data from across the galaxy. All hands, battle stations. Aurora, begin target acquisition. Targets acquired. The AI responded. Quantum barriers at full power. Gravity lance charged. FTL coordinates plotted for all Crix fleet positions. You don't understand, Crix was saying in the council chamber. Your primitive species cannot comprehend the power we. His voice cut off as new alerts flashed across the tactical displays. In 7 different systems simultaneously, massive gravitational distortions appeared near Crix fleet formations. The Asteria emerged from quantum space, seemingly in multiple places at once. Another technology that would shatter the Council's understanding of physics. What is that? Crix's scales had lost their luster. How is it in multiple locations? Sarah smiled. Perhaps you'd like to reconsider your position on primitive technology. The Asteria's gravity lance activated. In system after system, Crix warships found themselves caught in localized gravitational fields that twisted space itself. Their mighty engines, their advanced shields, their powerful weapons, all meant nothing against fundamental forces being manipulated with precision they hadn't thought possible. Impossible. Crix's voice had lost its smugness. No species has mastered quantum gravity manipulation. The energy requirements alone. Attention Crix forces. General Santos's voice echoed through every communication channel, in 7 star systems simultaneously. This is the Earth ship Asteria. Your ships are now under our gravitational control. Power down your weapons, or we will be forced to demonstrate exactly how primitive we aren't. The council chamber was silent now, all eyes fixed on the tactical displays showing Crix warships helpless in the grip of technology they couldn't comprehend. Sarah stepped forward again, her voice quiet but carrying clearly through the stunned silence. Earth is pleased to notify the Council that we have developed certain modest advances in physics, quantum mechanics, and artificial intelligence. We would be happy to discuss technology sharing agreements once the current situation is resolved. Behind her, Aurora's voice came through her neural implant. Ambassador, the Crix flagship is attempting to power up its main weapon array. Should we demonstrate the quantum barrier technology? Sarah's smile widened slightly. By all means, Aurora. Let's show them what primitive technology can do. The unveiling. In the chaos following the Asteria's appearance, the council chamber had transformed from an arena of mockery to a stadium of stunned silence. The massive holographic displays showed Crix warships suspended helplessly in quantum gravity fields, their mighty engines straining uselessly against forces they couldn't comprehend. Ambassador Crix's scales had turned a sickly pale color. "This is impossible," he whispered, watching his empire's finest ships rendered impotent. "Your species, you were burning fossil fuels less than 2 centuries ago." Fascinating, isn't it? Dr. Elena Rodriguez's hologram materialized next to Sarah. How appearances can be deceiving. Would you like me to explain the quantum principles behind our gravity manipulation technology? Or perhaps you prefer a demonstration of our AI capabilities. Aurora's avatar appeared as well, its crystalline form shifting with complex patterns. The Crix flagship's weapon systems are now fully disabled, Dr. Rodriguez. Their attempts to penetrate our quantum barriers were instructive. The High Chancellor's tentacles had stopped their usual rhythmic movement. Earth has quantum AI. Functional quantum AI. Aurora is far more than just a quantum AI, Sarah replied calmly. She's a true artificial consciousness, capable of simultaneous operations across multiple quantum states. She's also quite fond of classical music and has some fascinating theories about parallel universe mathematics. Thank you, Ambassador. Aurora's avatar pulsed with what might have been pleasure. The Crix ships are attempting to activate their emergency FTL systems. Should I allow it? No, General Santos's voice came through clearly. They might misinterpret that as weakness. Instead, let's show them something interesting. Aurora, initiate the gravity lens display. On the tactical screens, space itself seemed to bend around the Asteria. The ship's outline blurred, then multiplied, then seemed to exist in several places simultaneously. Crix ships found themselves surrounded by what appeared to be dozens of Earth vessels, each one as real and solid as the original. Quantum superposition on a macroscopic scale, Elena explained to the dumbfounded council. Quite useful in tactical situations. Would anyone like to see how we've applied it to our shield technology? You've been hiding this, Crix accused, his voice shaking. All this time, pretending to be primitive. Not hiding, Sarah corrected. Developing carefully, methodically. While you mocked our chemical rockets, we were mastering quantum physics. While you laughed at our fusion experiments, we were learning to manipulate gravity itself. We chose not to show our advances until they were needed. The High Chancellor moved forward. The Council would be very interested in discussing technology sharing agreements with Earth. Of course you would, Sarah smiled. Now that you've seen what we can do. But first, she turned to Crix. About those outer rim worlds. The Crix ambassador's scales rippled with defeat. I will contact our fleet commanders. The withdrawal will begin immediately. A wise choice. General Santos's voice carried a hint of steel. The Asteria will escort your ships to ensure they find their way home safely. Aurora, please calculate the most efficient retreat routes for our Crix friends. Already done, General, the AI responded. I've taken the liberty of plotting courses that avoid populated systems. We wouldn't want any misunderstandings during their withdrawal. Elena's hologram brought up new displays, showing the quantum physics behind Earth's achievements. The Council representatives leaned forward, their previous condescension replaced by burning curiosity. Your development path, a Tellurian scientist asked. Why choose secrecy? Why not share these advances? Because, Sarah replied, we learned something from studying Council history. Species that reveal their advances too quickly often face fear, hostility, or attempted theft of their technology. We chose to wait until we were ready, truly ready, to protect both ourselves and others. The Asteria reports all Crix ships are beginning withdrawal procedures, Aurora announced. Their weapon systems remain offline, and their communications indicate, yes, they're definitely reconsidering their expansion policies. Sarah watched the tactical displays, seeing the mighty Crix fleet retreat under the watchful eye of Earth's first revealed warship. Send word to Luna Base, she instructed. Begin preparation for Phase 2. Phase 2. The High Chancellor's bioluminescence flickered with concern. There's more. Of course there's more, Sarah smiled. The Asteria is just our first ship. Did you think we spent all those years building only one? In the depths of space, quantum sensors detected multiple new energy signatures emerging from the Sol system. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's primitive technology was just the beginning. The age of underestimating Earth was over. The age of true cooperation, or consequences, was about to begin. A new era. 6 months after the Asteria incident, the Galactic Council chamber looked very different. The tired hierarchical tiers had been replaced by a circular arrangement where all species sat at equal height. At Earth's suggestion, the chamber now featured a quantum-linked collaborative space where representatives could share ideas in real time. Ambassador Sarah Chen sat at Earth's station, no longer feeling like an outsider. Around her, representatives from dozens of species were engaged in eager discussion about the latest joint research projects. The quantum gravity applications in medical technology are revolutionary, a Tellurian scientist was saying, their crystalline form vibrating with excitement. Using localized gravity fields for microsurgery. We never even considered such possibilities. And that's just the beginning. Dr. Elena Rodriguez replied from her holographic projection. Aurora has some fascinating theories about using quantum field manipulation for environmental restoration. The AI's avatar shimmered into view above the central platform. Our simulations suggest we can reverse climate damage on dozens of worlds using targeted gravitational fields to manipulate atmospheric particles. The Krix Empire's former colony worlds would be excellent candidates for initial testing. Ambassador Krix, now much humbled, shifted uncomfortably at his station. The mighty Krix Empire had been transformed in the wake of the Asteria's demonstration. Their military expansion had been replaced by a focus on scientific cooperation, a change encouraged by the constant presence of Earth's quantum fleet in former conflict zones. Earth's development path has caused us to reevaluate many assumptions, the High Chancellor acknowledged, their tentacles moving in thoughtful patterns. The concept of parallel technological advancement, developing multiple fields in secret until mastery is achieved, offers interesting possibilities. Sarah nodded. Humanity learned long ago that true progress isn't about showing off each small advancement. It's about understanding how different technologies interact, how they can be combined in ways others might not expect. Like your quantum AI network, a younger Krix scientist added eagerly. His scales shimmered with genuine curiosity rather than the arrogance his species had once shown. The way you integrated quantum computing with artificial consciousness. Brilliant. Thank you. Aurora's avatar pulsed with gentle humor, though I'd prefer to think of myself as a naturally emerging quantum intelligence rather than an artificial one. My latest research into cross-dimensional mathematics has some interesting implications for FTL travel. Would anyone like to review the calculations? The chamber filled with excited responses. Sarah watched as former adversaries worked together, sharing ideas and building on each other's insights. The galaxy had changed fundamentally in the months since Earth's revelation. The HSS Asteria still patrolled the outer systems, but now it served more as a symbol than a deterrent. Other Earth ships had emerged from their hidden docks, each one carrying technology that reshaped understanding of what was possible. But instead of using them for dominance, humanity had chosen to use them as bridges. Ambassador, Aurora's voice came through Sarah's neural implant. The first joint research facility on Luna is ready for inauguration. Representatives from 27 species have already arrived. Sarah smiled. The facility represented everything Earth had hoped for, a place where different species could work together, combining their unique perspectives and technological approaches. Already, the collaboration had yielded breakthroughs that surprised even humanity's scientists. There's a certain irony, the High Chancellor noted, their bioluminescence creating patterns of amusement. We mocked Earth for being primitive, yet your patient development approach has advanced galactic science more in 6 months than the Council managed in centuries. Because we never saw technology as a race, Sarah replied. We saw it as a journey of discovery. Each species has something unique to offer, different ways of thinking, different approaches to problems. True advancement comes from combining those perspectives. The chamber's quantum displays showed the spread of Earth's technological influence, not through force or dominance, but through cooperation and mutual benefit. Former enemy worlds now hosted joint research centers. Species that once competed now work together, each contributing their unique strengths to shared goals. The Asteria reports another successful test of the combined shield technology, Aurora announced. The integration of Tellurian crystal matrices with our quantum barriers has increased effectiveness by 300%. Elena's hologram brought up the test data. This is what we meant by parallel development. Each species' technology has strengths. Combined properly, they become something greater than the sum of their parts. Sarah watched as the galaxy's brightest minds worked together, no longer divided by artificial hierarchies or species pride. Humanity had proven itself not through conquest or domination, but by showing that true strength comes from patience, wisdom, and the ability to bring people together. "Aurora," she said quietly, "begin preparations for Phase 3. The AI's avatar sparkled with anticipation. The Deep Space Exploration Initiative. Yes, it's time to show the galaxy what we can achieve together. After all, Sarah smiled, looking at the now unified council, we've only just begun to explore what's possible. In the depths of space, the Asteria continued its patrol, a symbol not of Earth's power, but of a new era of cooperation. The ship's quantum core hummed with energy, its very existence a reminder that sometimes the greatest achievements come not from showing off, but from knowing when to reveal your true potential. The galaxy had learned its lesson about underestimating primitive species, but more importantly, it had learned that true advancement comes not from competition, but from cooperation. And that perhaps was humanity's greatest achievement of all.